And Michael? He wrote, spoke, taught. He became an advocate, not for pity, but for awareness. He told every audience, we're not failures. We're survivors of a system that forgot its promises. And whenever someone asked what changed everything, he'd smile faintly and say, a $42 bill. That's what started it. But maybe that's what saved us too, because it made us finally see what really matters. Late one night, years after it all, Michael sat on the porch of their new house, small, quiet, modest. Lily came out and sat beside him. Dad, she said, are we happy now? He thought for a long time. We're not rich, he said. But we're safe. That's enough. She leaned on his shoulder. You think we'll ever be rich? He smiled. We already are, sweetheart. Just in ways money can't measure. And somewhere across countless homes and screens, people still read their story. Some cried. Some related. Some whispered, that's us. Because it wasn't just one family's fall. It was America's quiet truth, that even the hardest workers can break, but even the broken can still shine. And Michael? He wrote, spoke, taught. He became an advocate, not for pity, but for awareness. He told every audience, we're not failures. We're survivors of a system that forgot its promises. And whenever someone asked what changed everything, he'd smile faintly and say, a $42 bill. That's what started it. But maybe that's what saved us too, because it made us finally see what really matters. Late one night, years after it all, Michael sat on the porch of their new house, small, quiet, modest. Lily came out and sat beside him. Dad, she said, are we happy now? He thought for a long time. We're not rich, he said. But we're safe. That's enough. She leaned on his shoulder. You think we'll ever be rich? He smiled. We already are, sweetheart. Just in ways money can't measure. And somewhere across countless homes and screens, people still read their story. Some cried. Some related. Some whispered, that's us. Because it wasn't just one family's fall. It was America's quiet truth, that even the hardest workers can break, but even the broken can still shine. The final blow. Weeks later, Lily fell ill. A bad flu that turned into pneumonia. Hospital bills again. Insurance delays. Endless forms. In the waiting room, Michael felt the same helpless rage, the kind that comes from knowing your child's health depends on paperwork. Jenna held his hand. We'll get through this, he whispered. I'm so tired of through this. I want to be past it. A small victory. When Lily recovered, she wrote an essay for school. My family's broken dream. She read it at a local contest. We used to have a big house. Now we have a small one. But small things can still hold love. My dad says we lost the dream. I think maybe we just found a better one. It went viral again. National TV picked it up. Suddenly, the Andersons weren't symbols of despair. They were symbols of hope. Publishers reached out. One offered Michael a book deal. He titled it the same as his daughter's essay, The Price of Ordinary Dreams. Years later, they didn't become rich, but they became stable. A small rental house. 2 working cars. No credit debt. Jenna returned to teaching full-time. Ethan started college on scholarship. Lily wrote stories. The internet miracle. One night, Ethan reopened his dad's old blog. Working harder, falling further. It had been dormant for months. He read through the posts, raw, angry, real. Thousands of comments. He had an idea. He made a short video, his dad at work, his mom's fellowship, their motel life, over Michael's words from the blog. He uploaded it. The middle-class struggle you don't see. Within days, it exploded. Millions of views. News outlets shared it. Reporters reached out again. Interviews followed. Michael's phone buzzed nonstop. Dad, people are listening, Ethan said, almost proud. Michael hesitated. We're not some sob story. No, Ethan said, we're proof. National spotlight. CNN called. Then the Washington Post. They were invited to speak at an economic conference. Michael stood on stage in a cheap suit, hands shaking, telling a room of policymakers. We did everything right. We worked. We saved. We voted. We believed. And we still fell. So don't call this a personal failure. It's a national one. The crowd rose in applause. Jenna, watching from the front row, wiped her eyes. That night, they ate dinner at a diner. The first time in years they could order without counting the dollars first. For a brief moment, it felt like the world was listening. The offer. Then came the email. A corporate PR firm offered Michael $120,000 to partner on a national awareness campaign about resilience and opportunity. It sounded noble. But the company? One of the same corporations that had laid off thousands of workers like him. Jenna read the email in silence. You could take it, she said softly. Michael looked at her. You think I should? But something in him twisted. He thought of his blog, his words, the people who'd written him letters saying, "You gave me hope." If he took their money, would that hope die? He closed the laptop. No. Not like. He stared at the glowing screen. $120,000, enough to change everything. I think we need it. One day he didn't come home. Jenna called every number she had, panicked. At midnight, Ethan finally texted. I'm fine. Needed to clear my head. When he came back the next morning, Michael was waiting by the door. Where were you? Does it matter? You scared your mom. You think I'm not scared? You think watching you kill yourself for gas money isn't terrifying? Michael froze. Ethan's voice shook now. You told me working hard was the answer. You lied. Michael didn't respond. He just walked to the bathroom, shut the door, and turned on the tap to drown the sound of his own breaking. A ray of hope. Then one morning Jenna's email dinged. Congratulations. You've been selected for the Horizon Education Fellowship. She read it twice to be sure. A program for displaced teachers, $2,000 a month, training in D.C., potential full-time position afterward. When Michael got home, she handed him the printout, trembling. This could save us. He smiled. A real smile, the first in months. You did it. But the relief didn't last. The fellowship meant she'd have to move to D.C. for 3 months, alone. What about the kids? She asked. I'll handle it, he said quickly. You have to go. So she went. And suddenly, Michael was a single parent in a motel, juggling shifts and school drop-offs. Lily missed her mom. Ethan withdrew further. Michael barely slept. He taped Jenna's photo above the motel desk and whispered to it at night. We're hanging on. Just come back safe. The breaking body. By June, Michael's body gave out. He woke one morning with stabbing pain down his spine. The warehouse foreman told him to walk it off. He didn't. At the ER, the doctor said it was a herniated disc. You need rest, she said. He laughed bitterly. Rest doesn't pay rent. Painkillers, physical therapy, medical bills. Another spiral. When Jenna heard, she offered to quit the fellowship. Michael refused. You're our only way out. Don't stop now. He could always tell when his mother cried. She tried to do it quietly, like it was another bill she couldn't afford to pay out loud. At 1:47 a.m., the door opened. Michael stumbled in, smelling of diesel and sweat. Jenna looked up, weary but not angry. How many hours today? 14. Did you eat? He shrugged. A granola bar. You can't keep doing this. I have to. He dropped a handful of crumpled bills on the table. $108. That's all I got tonight. Gas took half. She stared at it, then at him. It's never enough, Mike. We're killing ourselves for pennies. He sat down heavily. At least we're not giving up. But even as he said it, his voice cracked. The desperation phase. By spring, they had tried everything. Michael drove for 3 different delivery apps, sometimes switching between them mid-shift. Jenna took extra online classes to get her full teaching license reinstated. Ethan started repairing old phones for cash. Lily sold hand-drawn bookmarks at school for 50 cents each. Every effort helped, but none of it fixed anything. The American economy had become a labyrinth. They weren't lazy. They weren't wasteful. They were just trapped. The numbers never added up. Rent, car insurance, gas, groceries, healthcare. Every month some costs sneaked higher while their income stayed the same. Michael kept a spreadsheet of expenses, lines of red cells like open wounds. Look, he told Jenna one night. Even if I work 7 days a week, we still end up short $200. Jenna looked at him with dull eyes. Then stop pretending math can save us. Ethan's breaking point. Ethan started skipping classes again. He said school didn't matter. None of this matters if everything's rigged. He watched YouTube videos about side hustles, cryptocurrency, financial freedom. He tried selling sneakers again, flipping thrift store items. Some weeks he made $100. Most weeks nothing. One evening, Ethan found his father sleeping in the truck after a shift, face pressed to the steering wheel. He took a photo, not for social media, but to remember. He whispered, "I'll fix this someday." In spring, hope flickered again. A nonprofit read Michael's blog and invited him to speak. He told their story, not as a sob story but as a truth. "We didn't fail. The system did." Applause, tears, headlines. For the first time he felt seen. But change came too late. Jenna's exhaustion turned into illness, stress-induced. The hospital bills reopened the wound. Michael held her hand in the ER waiting room and whispered, "We'll get through this." But he didn't sound like he believed it. Years later, people would quote his words online. "We lost our house, our savings, our plans. But we found each other." Maybe that's all that ever mattered. The Andersons never became rich again. But their story changed lives. Ethan grew up to teach financial literacy to teenagers. Lily became a writer. Jenna recovered, started a local community program for struggling families. And Michael's blog became a book, The Price of Ordinary Dreams. It didn't make him a fortune. It made him human again. Because sometimes, survival itself is the miracle. Sometimes, the most amazing part of a story isn't how people rise, but how they endure. And somewhere in a quiet Ohio motel, a family once sat under a flickering neon sign and decided that hope, no matter how small, was still worth paying for. Part 2. The Struggle to Rise. The motel air conditioner rattled through the night like an old engine trying to keep up with time. It was past midnight, and Michael still hadn't come home. Jenna sat on the bed scrolling through job boards, eyes gritty with exhaustion. Lily was asleep beside her, clutching her rabbit. Ethan lay on the other bed, earphones in, pretending to be asleep but listening.